Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to do a long-term overview review of the Flytanium arcade, give you my thoughts, my opinions, some interesting asides. First, I want to just give a real quick shout out and thank you to the channel members. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you more than you know. And I want to welcome anybody that stops by and watches the content to let you know I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the content. And if I could get you to, and you're so inclined, if you'll please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it'll really help the channel out. And then lastly, if you guys are over on IG and would like to connect over there on Instagram, I'm at the same handle as I am here at jevans underscore knife addict underscore life. So the reason I brought out the Flytanium arcade box because it is the first box that I've seen that actually has the Sharklock licensed. So when I first got it, I knew that it used the Sharklock, but I didn't know if it was going to be a different Sharklock or if it was like the exact same mechanism or what it was. So when we get into this knife came with green and these yellow G10 scales. They sent a set of black G10 scales along with it, and then I picked up some titanium inset scales and the black titanium backspacer because this just had standoffs. So this knife listed for $190 with two sets of G10 scales and a big standoff here. Um, I invested another, I want to say $45 in the scales and the titanium scales and the backspacer just because I'm an idiot and I was just going to get more. And I picked that up after having the knife for a while and after realizing what this knife really is. So I've always been aware of who Flytanium is. I've owned some of their scales before. None of them are still on my knives. I've purchased their backspacers for a few of my Demkos. Um, I've just never thought of them as a premium company or as a company that was really parallel with what my likes and wants are, right? So when they released this knife and I first started seeing it in catalogs or in magazines, I wasn't super excited. It looked to me in the catalogs like a basic bug out type knife, for lack of a better term, just a very generic, normal knife. And I didn't think much more past it. But then I read about it and I read it was the first um, of any other manufacturer to license and use the Demko Sharklock. And if you know guys know anything about the channel, and I have this out here for a reason, but I'm a huge Demko 20.5 fanboy, right? I've got I think four of these, all with different mods, two shark's foots and two drop points, clip points, whatever you want to call them. So the Sharklock has been for me, and for a lot of people it's not, but the Sharklock for me has been a lot that I've enjoyed since I discovered it, right? Which was on the 80/20, and then it became affordable for me on the 80/20.5. Everybody used to joke that we were paying $150 for the lock because the blade steel was a little less than what we'd want and the handles were FRN. So people came out with mods, with scales that you could get. They came out with some different blade upgrades. Long story short, the Demko 20.5 kind of found its way into my heart, even though a lot of other people don't like it. So fast forward to the arcade, Flytanium arcade. I saw it on White Mountain Knives. It was $190 or $198. I can't exactly remember. I thought, what was the loss? Let's check it out. Let's see how their interpretation of the Sharklock is. And I ordered it. Fast forward 2 days, it showed up. I did the unboxing. You guys were here for that. The first thing I noticed was this is not just licensing the Sharklock technology, it's the same Sharklock. Um, and that's a good thing, guys. So when I compare this to my AD 20.5s, they start to look a lot more the same. So I even counted the gems, looked at them under my jeweler scope. They are exactly the same mechanism. Well, then I started to see where these knives were made, and they're both made in Taiwan. So it only stood to reason to me when I look at those plunge grinds, they're just about identical. When I look on the jimps on the spine, they're just about identical. Even though these blades, because this one has a blade hole and a thumb hole, and this blade, when you're not looking at them together, look different, they're identical. That's not a bad thing, guys. What that means, in my humble opinion, is this is being made in the same Taiwanese factory as this, which would make sense because this is the first collaboration co-op between Flytanium, who hadn't made knives before, and Demko knives to license their Sharklock. What better place to do that and control the manufacturing than in the same factory? So that's the conclusion that, without any exact proof, I have come to determine. When you look at these knives, the body of the knives, they're very, very similar. I prefer the Flytanium because it doesn't have this force grip, even though the force grip is not a problem for me. The Flytanium's handles are just a little bit more neutral, so they grip a little better. These G10, or in my case, the titanium insets, give you, outside of this non-slippery aluminum, you get a nice textured grip there, and the knife just feels premium. It feels as premium as my Demko with original goat titanium scales. And that was $100 upgrade to my $150 Demko with 80 OS 10. So this knife, the Flytanium Arcade, you get with aluminum, an aluminum scale that is basically milled to house a Sharklock. I took it apart early this morning. It's done very well. I installed this backspacer that I bought and popped on these scales, um, and just wanted to look at the inside of the knife. I did not want to put you guys through that in case there was any struggle busting. Of course, there wasn't because I wasn't filming it. But when I look at this knife at $190, and I look at the Sharklock, and I go about what I think about the knife, which is I really like it. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. Um, it is much more like my beloved 20.5s than I would have ever thought it was. Um, I think it's built better with better materials. I go from an OS 10 or D2 blade to an S35 VN blade. Okay, I go from FRN to aluminum and G10. I come with a deep carry clip standard. This is an aftermarket deep carry clip. This didn't come with a backspacer. I added it. I added this backspacer too. But you'll notice these Sharklocks, again, are identical. Um, the hardware is very similar. Again, this plunge line is almost identical on the blade. I just know in my heart that these knives are being made in the same plant in Taiwan. And again, like I said, that is not a bad thing because they do very good work in that plant. I've been pleased with all the cold steels that I've gotten from that area, and I've been pleased with my Demkos. And this knife, this Flytanium Arcade, has basically exceeded the expectations of all of the knives I've gotten from there. This is the best, what I consider the 80 20.6, the Demko 20.6, because it's the 20.5 that we really wanted with good steel and good materials. And I know they're going to offer more. Flytanium will to upgrade this knife from thumb studs to other accessories, but I think they've done it great. I'm not that excited about its modular nature, even though I've purchased already titanium scales and a titanium backspacer, and will probably purchase other accessories if they come out with black thumb studs or more hardware kits. Who knows? The knife's actually, instead of just being a curiosity that I wanted to review and that I wanted to really think would come in and it would be a crappy knife, I'm really blown away by it. We'll do some size comparisons here real quick. And the only reason I show it up next to the 80-20.5 again is because they're the same knife, in my opinion, for all practical purposes. So if you like the 20.5 or the Demko Sharklock, you are going to like the Flytanium Arcade. Let's look at it next to our Cold Steel 4MAX. It's going to be smaller than the 4MAX. Look at it next to our Civivi Baby Banter. It's going to be bigger than the Baby Banter. Let's look at it next to our Benchmade Bug Out. Just a hair longer than the Benchmade Bug Out. This is going to put it a good bit shorter than our Paramilitary 2. So as you can see there, it's just a hair, maybe a quarter of an inch longer than the Benchmade Bug Out. So let's break out our Javon promotional tape measure from Amazon to replace the one we broke, and we will see the overall length on this knife is 7 3/4 inches. The blade is 3 1/4. The cutting edge is 3 inches, and the handle is 4 1/2. The handle in the back is 3 1/2. From here to here is 3 1/2. If you measure from the front trigger, you are looking at 4 inches. So a very comfortable knife, medium-sized knife for my hand, very thin, no wiggle, no rattle, no parts that are not 100% snug. This knife is done very, very well. Let's look at the blade stock, and then we'll just, for shits and giggles, we'll compare that to our Demko 0.1295. 0.1250. Let me do this again. They're not the same size, but close. Oh, and the thickness on this knife with the aluminum scales standard is 0.46, so it's under half an inch. Feels great in the hand. The weight is nice. It's not heavy, but it feels substantial. Comes in right at 3.9 ounces. The Demko 4.45 with titanium scales. These are aluminum scales. But yeah, guys, that is the Flytanium Arcade, using first company to license and partner with the Demkos to use the Demko Sharklock. And I am just very impressed with how well this knife was put together. Whoever put it together, whether it was Demko, who licensed it to Flytanium, or if it was Flytanium, who, to me, it's almost the same knife, just revised, guys. I mean, to me, that's my gut feeling of it. I like this knife for that very reason. So for me, it's a keeper. It's a winner. It's a knife that's still in stock at White Mountain Knives in the what I call the forest green. You can get the green John Deere with the yellow, and all these come with black G10 scales in the box. They come with 2 sets, standard, and then you can buy other color scales, but they've got the green and yellow in stock at White Mountain Knives with the black blade or with the satin stonewash blade. You can use Javon 10 there to save 10% off of it. If you go to Blade HQ or Knife Center, you can find the black with the Ultim. You can find some other variations of this knife. I don't have a discount code there. I don't know of anybody who does, but I can recommend the knife. It's a very good knife. If you like the Demko 20.5, this just improves on it with better materials, better fit and finish. Looks like it's just a more refined version of a great knife, in my opinion. Guys, thank you, thank you, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for stopping by the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Big shout out to the channel members. Big shout out to you guys that are coming by for the first few times. I hope you decide to stick around. And all I ask is that you please look out for that guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. Know I love each and every one of you. Peace.